Imagine waking up every day feeling like your brain is wired differently from everyone else. You wonder why your emotions sometimes feel like a storm, intense, sudden, overwhelming. Why you react deeply to certain words, while others barely notice. This is not just you. This is your female brain, complex, powerful, and shaped by biology in ways you might never have guessed. Dr. Louann Brizendine, a renowned neuropsychiatrist, reveals how hormones sculpt the female brain from infancy to adulthood. Her insights show us why women think, feel, and behave differently, not because of culture alone, but because of the very wiring of their brains. Consider this. A woman walks into a room and instantly senses the tension before a single word is spoken. She picks up on subtle facial expressions, tone shifts, the unspoken emotions in the air. This is no magic, it is biology. Brizendine writes, "The female brain is an emotional brain. It is wired to empathize, to connect, and to communicate feelings. But this emotional intensity is a double-edged sword. It fuels deep relationships and creativity, but it also means women often carry a heavier emotional load. In work, in home, in life. Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine, Sarah, always felt overwhelmed in meetings. She was sensitive to the slightest changes in her boss's tone or her coworkers' moods. At first, she thought she was overreacting. But after learning about how her brain processes emotional signals, she understood. Her brain was just built to notice what others missed. This understanding changed everything for Sarah. She started to manage her reactions better, not by fighting her nature, but by embracing it. She found ways to recharge, to set boundaries, and to use her emotional insight as a strength, not a weakness. What can you take from this? Your brain is unique. Your emotional sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a gift. Learning how your brain works helps you navigate your feelings and relationships with more grace and power. Dr. Brizendine's work reminds us, when a woman understands her brain, she can harness its full potential. That is the key to mastering your emotions, building stronger connections, and thriving in your daily life. If you want to explore more about how your brain shapes your world, stay connected here with Brain Behind Books, because knowing your brain is the first step to owning your story. From the moment she is born, a girl's brain begins a remarkable journey. It is shaped not just by experience, but by a flood of hormones, chemicals that act like messengers guiding her development. In the first year, the female brain is especially sensitive to estrogen, the hormone that will influence everything from mood to memory to social skills. This is why baby girls often develop language and emotional recognition faster than boys. Imagine a mother speaking softly to her daughter, and the baby's eyes locking onto her face. That connection is more than love. It is brain wiring in action. Estrogen enhances the brain circuits that allow girls to read emotions and communicate with others. Dr. Brizendine explains, girls are born with brains that are primed for connection. This early wiring sets the stage for how women will navigate relationships throughout life. But it is not just the hormones that shape the brain. The experiences a girl has, the nurturing, the challenges, the social interactions, all influence how her brain grows. The brain's plasticity means it is always adapting, especially in childhood and adolescence. Think about the teenage years, a whirlwind of emotions and changes. Hormones surge again, shifting brain chemistry and wiring in dramatic ways. This explains why teenage girls often experience intense feelings, from joy to anxiety. For example, many parents notice their daughters becoming more sensitive to criticism or more aware of social dynamics during adolescence. This is the brain responding to a cocktail of hormones like estrogen, progesterone, and oxytocin. It is a natural process, not a flaw or weakness. Understanding this helps parents and young women themselves respond with empathy, patience, and smarter strategies for managing emotions. Here is a powerful insight from Brizendine. The female brain is designed to nurture and to protect relationships. It lives in the context of we, not me. This means that for women, social bonds are not just nice to have. They are central to emotional health and survival. So the next time you or someone you know seems overwhelmed by feelings or social pressures, remember it is biology at work. It is your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do. Harnessing this knowledge gives you the power to understand yourself better, build healthier relationships, and navigate life's emotional waves with confidence. If you find these insights valuable, keep following Brain Behind Books, where we dive deep into how science explains your everyday experience. Because your brain is your greatest ally, once you know how it works. As a woman moves from adolescence into adulthood, her brain continues to evolve in fascinating ways, shaped by the dance of hormones and life's experiences. One of the most powerful hormones influencing the adult female brain is oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone. Oxytocin deepens connections between mother and child, friends, partners. Picture a mother holding her newborn, feeling an overwhelming surge of love and protection. That rush is oxytocin at work, wiring her brain to care deeply, to protect fiercely. But oxytocin does more than just build bonds. It also heightens empathy, the ability to feel what others feel. This is why women often excel at understanding emotions and responding with compassion. Dr. Louann Brizendine writes, "The female brain is tuned to empathy and connection more than any other kind of thinking. However, this sensitivity can sometimes feel like a burden. Imagine feeling your partner's stress, your child's worries, or a friend's sadness as if it were your own. Can be exhausting. But here is the life lesson. Your empathy is a strength, not a weakness, when balanced with self-care. Learning to protect your emotional boundaries helps you stay strong while staying connected. In daily life, this means setting time aside to recharge, saying no without guilt, and recognizing when your feelings are your own or absorbed from others. Many women discover that understanding this about their brain helps reduce stress and improve relationships. They become masters of emotional intelligence, using their natural wiring to navigate life's challenges gracefully. Think about your own experiences. When have you felt deeply connected or overwhelmed by emotions? Recognizing these moments as brain biology can give you clarity and power to respond differently. As Dr. Brizendine reminds us, when a woman embraces the strengths of her brain, she can transform vulnerability into power. Your brain is not just a tool for thinking. It is a compass for connection, empathy, and emotional wisdom. If you want to learn more about unlocking the secrets of your brain, stay tuned with Brain Behind Books. Because understanding yourself is the first step toward living fully and authentically. Imagine this. You walk into a room and instantly pick up on every tiny mood swing like you are some kind of emotional detective with superpowers. Your brain is working overtime, decoding every look, every sigh, every awkward silence. And no, you are not just being dramatic, your brain is wired this way. Dr. Louann Brizendine calls it the female brain's emotional superhighway. It is like having a 24/7 feelings radar, sometimes amazing, sometimes exhausting, kind of like having your own personal soap opera playing in your head. Picture this real-life scene. My friend Emily was at a meeting and she said, "I knew something was wrong when Bob suddenly stopped saying, 'Let's circle back.'" For those who do not work in an office, "Let's circle back" is basically code for, "Please do not ask me any more questions." Emily's brain caught the vibe before anyone spoke. Her superpower. She reads emotional subtext better than Sherlock Holmes. Dr. Brizendine explains, "The female brain is built to connect, to feel, and to communicate feelings." That means when your brain sends you a red flag signal, listen up. It is not paranoia, it is biology. But here is the fun part. This emotional radar is a blessing and a curse. It helps you build deep friendships and amazing relationships, but it also means you might cry over a commercial for cat food. Yes, that is your brain telling a story. And yes, it is perfectly normal. So what can you do? First, embrace it. Your emotional brain is your secret weapon. Second, learn to manage it, like taking a moment before you respond to that text from your ex or your boss. Trust me, your brain will thank you. As Dr. Brizendine says, understanding your brain is the first step to owning your story. And if you enjoy uncovering your brain's mysteries, you know where to find more. Brain Behind Books has your back. Because sometimes the best superpower is simply understanding yourself, and maybe laughing a little along the way. From the moment a girl is born, her brain starts a wild adventure, one fueled by hormones that shape who she will become. Think of estrogen as the director behind the scenes, setting the stage for language skills, emotional awareness, and social connection. This is why little girls often start talking earlier and seem to understand feelings better than boys. Imagine a baby girl watching her mother's face, absorbing every smile, every frown like a tiny emotional sponge. That is estrogen at work, wiring her brain for empathy and communication. Dr. Louann Brizendine puts it simply: girls are born with brains primed for connection. But it is not just hormones. The world around her, the hugs, the stories, the challenges, all help sculpt her brain. That is the magic of brain plasticity. The brain's ability to change and grow with experience. Now, think about the roller coaster of teenage years. Hormones surge, feelings intensify, and suddenly, everything seems amplified. One moment laughter, the next moment tears. All part of the brain's rewiring process. It explains why teenage girls can be both fiercely independent and deeply sensitive, sometimes in the same hour. Here is a little secret. This emotional sensitivity is a superpower. It makes women incredible at reading people, nurturing relationships, and adapting to change. So next time you see a teen girl having a meltdown over a text message, remember, her brain is just doing its job. Dr. Brizendine reminds us, the female brain lives in the context of we, not me. Understanding this helps us be kinder, to ourselves and to others. If this speaks to you, stick around with Brain Behind Books. Because knowing your brain's story is the first step to writing your own. As women step into adulthood, their brains continue to dance to the rhythm of hormones, especially one called oxytocin, nicknamed the love hormone. Oxytocin is like the brain's built-in Wi-Fi for connection. It strengthens bonds with partners, friends, and family. Ever wonder why hugging your best friend feels like a mini vacation for your soul? That is oxytocin flooding your brain, making you feel safe and loved. Dr. Louann Brizendine writes, the female brain is wired to empathize, to feel what others feel, sometimes even more than they do themselves. This super empathy can be amazing. You notice when your partner is upset before they say a word. You sense when a friend needs support without them asking. But it can also be a little exhausting, like carrying everyone's feelings along with your own. Here is a funny truth. Sometimes your brain is so busy catching everyone's emotions, it forgets to check in with you. Ever cried during a commercial because the dog looked sad? Yep, that is your oxytocin saying, we feel this together. The secret is balance. Your empathy is your strength, but only when you take care of your own heart too. Setting boundaries, taking quiet time, and saying no without guilt are your brain's best friends. My friend Laura learned this the hard way. She used to absorb everyone's stress at work and come home drained. Once she started practicing self-care and recognizing her own emotional limits, her relationships blossomed and her stress melted away. As Dr. Brizendine says, when a woman understands her brain, she transforms vulnerability into power. So, next time you feel overwhelmed by emotions, remember your brain is just doing its amazing job. And with a little care, you can turn those feelings into your greatest superpower. If you want to dive deeper into your brain's secrets, Brain Behind Books is here to guide you. Because knowing yourself is the ultimate power move. As life moves forward, the female brain continues to shift, adapting to new roles, challenges, and chapters. One of the most fascinating stages is motherhood, whether through raising children, mentoring, or nurturing in any form. During pregnancy, estrogen and progesterone reach record highs, and oxytocin prepares the brain for bonding. It is like nature flipping a switch from me to we, tuning a woman's senses to her child's every sound, smell, and movement. Dr. Louann Brizendine says, the maternal brain is the most selfless state the female brain ever experiences. But here is the twist. This shift is not just about babies. The same nurturing circuits light up when women care deeply about friends, projects, or communities. It is why women often become the glue that holds social circles together. Of course, it is not all glowing smiles and lullabies. This hyper-awareness can also lead to stress and fatigue. Imagine trying to keep a mental spreadsheet of every detail in your life, and everyone else's, at the same time. No wonder women joke about needing a second brain for grocery lists alone. One friend of mine, Anna, laughed when she realized she remembered her kids' dentist appointments but forgot her own. Classic example of the brain's caregiving priorities in action. The takeaway: your brain is incredible at tuning into others' needs, but it needs you to tune into your own too. Schedule rest, protect your energy, and remember, the world benefits most when you are at your best. Dr. Brizendine reminds us, the female brain's capacity for love and connection is boundless, but it thrives only when it is cared for. So whether you are nurturing a family, a friendship, or a dream, make space for yourself in the process. If you want more science-backed insights with a little humor along the way, Brain Behind Books is your space to grow. Because when you understand your brain, you understand your true power. Stress. It sneaks into our lives like an uninvited guest, especially for women. But did you know your brain reacts to stress differently than a man's? When a woman faces stress, her brain releases cortisol, the classic fight or flight hormone, but also floods with oxytocin, the tend and befriend hormone. Instead of just running or fighting, her brain pushes her to seek connection, to reach out, to nurture. Imagine this. After a tough day, a woman might not just want to escape. She wants to talk it out, gather support, and feel understood. That is her brain's way of coping. Dr. Louann Brizendine says, women are biologically wired to create social networks in response to stress. But here is the catch. This need to connect can sometimes lead to emotional overload. Ever found yourself exhausted after comforting a friend when you were already drained? That is your brain's empathy circuits working overtime. So what is the lesson? It is okay to ask for help, but also okay to say no. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It is smart brain care. Practical tip. When stress hits, try reaching out to someone. But also schedule time alone to recharge. Balance connection with quiet. One of my friends, Maya, learned this after burnout hit hard. She started journaling and setting small boundaries. Her brain felt calmer, her emotions clearer, and her relationships stronger. Dr. Brizendine sums it up best. Understanding how your brain responds to stress can help you turn challenges into strength. So next time stress arrives uninvited, remember, your brain is working hard to keep you safe and connected. If you appreciate these insights, Brain Behind Books is here with more to empower your mind and life. Because knowing your brain is the best defense against life's storms. The female brain is a remarkable storyteller, weaving emotions, memories, and connections into the fabric of daily life. One fascinating fact Dr. Louann Brizendine highlights is how women's brains are wired for communication. Women tend to use both hemispheres of their brain when talking, while men often rely more on just one side. What does this mean? It means women often excel at multitasking, storytelling, and expressing feelings, sometimes all at once. Imagine a woman juggling a phone call, making dinner, and calming a toddler, all while telling a funny story about her day. Her brain is running a complex emotional and cognitive marathon, and somehow she makes it look effortless. But there is a flip side. This constant multi-layered processing can sometimes leave women feeling mentally drained. Ever ended a conversation and thought, wow, that was a lot, even if it was just about the weather? Dr. Brizendine says, the female brain is built for connection, but that means it never really shuts off. Here is a life hack. Give yourself permission to pause. It is okay to step back, breathe, and just be quiet. Your brain needs those moments to recharge and stay sharp. I remember a friend, Claire, who would talk non-stop to her partner about her day. Until one day, she realized she had forgotten to ask how he felt. That little pause helped her balance sharing with listening, strengthening their bond. Your brain thrives on connection, but it also thrives on balance. If you find value in exploring how your brain shapes your world, Brain Behind Books is your go-to place. Because understanding your brain is the key to telling your best story. As women enter midlife, the brain begins another transformation. One that is often misunderstood but full of hidden power. This stage brings hormonal shifts, especially the decline of estrogen during perimenopause and menopause. And yes, that can mean hot flashes, sleep changes, and moments where you walk into a room and forget why you are there. Your brain just wanted you to get some steps in, that is my theory. But here is the surprising part. These changes are not just an ending. They are also a rewiring. Dr. Louann Brizendine explains. With the hormonal shifts of midlife, women's brains often focus less on nurturing others and more on their own goals. It is as if the brain says, "Okay, we have been taking care of everyone else. Now it is your turn." For many women, this is the time they start new careers, launch passion projects, or travel solo. The emotional radar is still there, but it becomes more selective, tuned toward what truly matters. One woman I know, Sophia, spent her early adulthood raising 3 kids and managing a busy household. In her 50s, she started painting again, something she had loved in college. She said, "For the first time, my brain feels like it is mine again." Yes, the changes can be challenging, but they also open the door to clarity and freedom. Energy shifts from we to me. And that is not selfish, it is healthy. Dr. Brizendine notes, this stage is about reclaiming your time, your voice, and your vision. So if you are in this chapter, see it for what it truly is. A powerful reset. Your brain is not slowing down. It is evolving, focusing, and ready for a new adventure. And if you want to keep unlocking your brain's secrets, Brain Behind Books is your companion on the journey. Because every chapter of your brain's story has its own kind of brilliance.